Okay, so this is the latissimus dorsi, and we're just kind of looking at the length of the lats. So we know that when we flex, right, we want them to be at 180 degrees. Okay? And typically what that means is the humerus is going to be laying flat on the table. So you can see he doesn't get there, which not many of us truly get 180 degrees. But if you extend your spine for me, Sam, so if he extends his spine, he can get a lot closer and then relax. That's one of the biggest compensations you're going to see when the lats are involved. When I'm trying to flex and my lats are tight, the biggest compensation is I'm just going to extend my spine and get my hand here. So you got to watch for this. That's a big indicator of the lats being involved. So let's say for Sam, he's really good at keeping his back flat just because he's already discussed some of these things. So if you do a posterior tilt with the abs and he doesn't allow that to happen, you can see he doesn't get 180, right? If you go ahead and just relax, let your low back go, he can get closer to 180, but his back extends. So as a therapist, what you can do, when we lead with our thumb, that's a lateral rotation. Okay? So if we lead with our palm, that's lateral rotation. If I try to put his palm towards his feet, I'm medially rotating his humerus. We know that the lats are a medial rotator, right? So if I'm leading with his thumb, I'm slightly externally rotated, which is going to put more of a stretch on the lats. Right? Because as I externally rotate, the lats naturally medially rotate, so I'm stretching them. So if I'm in lateral rotation, I might hit my tension much sooner. So if he starts to extend here, for example, I might back off a little bit. I might medially rotate his shoulder and try to get a little further. If I'm able to get a little bit further without the back extending, that's a sign that's indicating or confirming that the lats are tight or stiff. Okay, now one thing I want you to remember, and we'll hit on it again, is lats and teres major have the exact same actions. The lats are going to produce a much bigger action at the lumbar spine. So if they're trying to cheat, the lats are going to cause the lumbar spine to extend. If the teres major is a problem, you're going to see the inferior angle of the scapula come away from the thorax. So the teres major is running here. As I flex, and if I'm stiff, the inferior angle might pull out away because that teres major is pulling on it so hard, having a bigger effect at the inferior angle of the scapula. So you see that 1/2 inch posterior lateral on some of these tests. All that means is it's probably more of a teres major type of a problem, pulling the scapula away from the spine or the thorax. Okay, so it's going to come posterior lateral this way. Whereas if it's a lat problem, we're going to hyperextend at the lumbar spine. Both of them to test though, let's say his teres major, you're seeing the scapula has a big pull, and let's say it's really pulling here. Well, we would still medially rotate. Can we get further before the scapula moves? And that's just confirming that the teres major is the problem. So again, kind of a couple tests where you can split up the teres major and the lats, even though they have the same motions at the humerus. The lats are going to affect the lumbar spine more, teres major is going to affect the scapula more.